waiting for our community to come on in, as so many of us know what the imposter syndrome is all about. Waiting for you to help you know the truth of who you are as an amazing individual worthy of all good things. For those of you who don't know you, my name is Felicia Searcy. Well, you know you, but I'm going to help you know you even more. Those of you who don't know me, my name is Felicia Searcy, and I've had the honor of helping thousands of people build lives that they love and truly be in that life. And it is my joy to be your partner in believing here. We're going to hang out together for about 20, 30 minutes today. This is just like TV, except you get to interact. You get to write comments. So sit back and together, let's go into how to stare down what's considered, what today many people call the imposter syndrome, so you really can claim your seat at the table of success. So glad to see Luce and Elaine, good to see you, and Severina. All right, so for those of you who are going to want my training notes, so you have this in writing, and to get information about my upcoming masterclass, put the words real deal in the comment section, because that's what you are. You are the real deal, and my team will make sure that we get that to you. So here's the problem. You've developed a high degree of success. You look around and people are talking about how they admire you and you're an inspiration to them. And you're sitting at the table with very, what's the word I'm looking for? Highly achieved people. That's not the word, but that will work. And there's this voice inside of you that just wants to creep in and say, you don't really belong here. Who do you think you are? They're going to find you out if they knew who you really were. Please tell me I'm not the only one that has dealt with that voice. If you have ever dealt with that voice, put an amen in the comment section or put a thumbs up in the comment section so I know I'm not alone. Because I remember several times throughout my life, there was just this insidious voice that said, you really don't deserve to be here. You know what? I'm going to take my glasses off. So my light is not reflecting in the light of my glasses, and I can see you. I know who you are as I'm looking at that little dot of light, as I look deep into your soul and know the truth about who you really are. So yes, Severina. Hey, Diane, so good to see you. So, and Diane, I think you're coming to LA here in about 6 weeks, and I'm so thrilled to see you. So I remember the first time I felt this way. Let me preface that it was always really like just this ongoing feeling. When I started college, I kept waiting for people to tell me that I didn't really belong there. Then I managed to get into graduate school, and I didn't manage to get into graduate school, that I earned my way into graduate school, but still it felt that way. Like, who do you think you are? What makes you think that you deserve to be here when there's so many other people that work harder and are more deserving than you are? I kept waiting for them to ask me to leave. And then I got hired on. So I was teaching school, and I was at a regular elementary school, and I applied for the top school in the county. It was the University Lab School, where I would then become adjunct faculty at Middle Tennessee State University. So I wouldn't just be working for the county that I was working for and teaching, but I would also be hired on at teaching education majors while I was teaching a grade at what was called this University Lab School. It was called Campus School. And interesting, I live on Campus Drive now. And I remember I sat in the interview, and, like several people interviewed me, and then the principal interviewed me, and I got the call that I got the job, and I was thrilled. And I'll never forget driving over there, and it was this old historic school building. It had been there since the early 1900s, and there were only 12 classes, no, 14. It was K through 6, and there were only 2 classes per grade level. So that means there were only 14 teachers at this school, and nobody ever retired. Now, I left, and that's a whole nother story that I'll get into another day. But once you got a spot at campus school, you held that spot. Nobody left. So there were like probably close to 100 applicants for this position. And they hired me. And I can remember driving into that parking lot, and there was just this, rather than being excited and thrilled to be there, and there was a part of me that was that, but there was just this sinking feeling. And as I was carrying my boxes into my classroom, wondering when they were really going to find out who they hired and how long I was going to manage to hold on to that position. Now, the problem with that, first of all, it just feels icky, and again, please tell me if there's anybody else, whether you're watching this live or watching the replay, if you've ever stared that voice down, if you've ever had that voice that you got a seat at what was considered a highly desirable place in life, whether it was a fabulous relationship, whether you established a great deal of health in your body, whether you dreamed up a dream vacation, whether you have an abundance of money in the bank, your dream position, whatever it is, as it happens, have you ever had that feeling that you don't really belong there, and somebody's going to come tell you that it's time for you to move on, that somebody more deserving deserves that spot? Well, that was the conversation that I was having walking into the school building. And I tell you, there's something that happened for me. I was hanging my my welcome to the new year information on the bulletin board. I was teaching third grade, so it was fun. What was always fun until it wasn't. And then I decided to do something different. And again, that's a whole nother story. But I remember hanging my stuff and having this feeling of, how did you get here? Who do you think you are? And I was in this kind of work long enough up to that point where I noticed that voice, and I made a decision that voice just wasn't gonna get airtime anymore. And then I literally walked myself through a process that I'm gonna walk you through right now that helped me shift that. Now, I would be lying to you if I said it never came back, but I can tell you now that it really is not there now. But I systematically stared that voice down when it did pop up. And I knew it was gone when we moved into the house that we're in now. And this is my dream house. Severina was here. She's seen this house. And it's a very opulent neighborhood. And for me, it's a deep reflection of, financially, it represents the impact that I'm making in the world, because now it's showing up in my life financially. And when I moved into this house, there wasn't a shred of, you don't belong here. You don't have a seat at this table. And I was so grateful, because what it demonstrated for me, when I look at the difference between that woman, and try to remember how old I was. I was 41. I was 40. When I walked into that school, I was 40, and I'm 58 now. So in that span of 18 years, and please hear me, it does not have to take 18 years to stare that voice down. In fact, it has not taken 18 years. But when I look at who I was walking into that building and who I am today, as we brought boxes into this new house, I am so grateful for systems and processes that allow us to transform those voices that keep you from really living the life that you are created to live and that you deserve to live. So again, if you're relating to any of this, thank you, Severina. Drop some thumbs up or some hearts in the comment section. And if you want my notes, so you can work with these yourself, you can physically have these in your hand and work with them yourself and get information. I got a masterclass coming up where I'm going to go deep into this transformational process of how to build out a life that you love. Put the words real deal in the comment section, and we will make sure that we get that to you. All right, so let me walk you through the process that that voice that you've worked hard People are telling you that they admire you. Your results reflect the work that you've put in. And yet there's that insidious voice that says, you don't really belong here. This seat belongs to somebody else. What do you do to go after the imposter syndrome? Number one, I encourage you, and here's what I did. I took an inventory. I just wrote down all of the voices. Now, I didn't have to go digging for them. You don't have to go digging for them. Believe me, if you're paying attention, they're talking. So you just write them down. You know, who do you think you are? You don't work hard enough. What do people find out who you really are? You don't deserve this. You're not worthy of this much good. You know, just there's somebody else who's more deserving than you. They're going to find out that who you really are. And once they find out who you really are, oh my gosh, you're done for. That's it. Your reputation's going to be ruined. And I just wrote them all down. So I just encourage you, just take a few minutes and just write down every voice, every lie this part of you wants to tell you. Now, here's the thing that you need to remember. Remember, there is that part of you that wants to go forward. That's life seeking a richer, freer, fuller expression. That's life expressing through you as you achieve a greater and greater degree of success. Then there is this part that will fight like crazy. I mean, it will just fight for everything it's worth to keep you right where you are. That's the imposter syndrome voice. That's the genesis of that imposter syndrome voice. Because if you get comfortable where you are, then the pattern that you've been living to up to this point, that pattern's got to die. It can't sustain itself if you're living into who you really are. So the voices are lies. They're just flat out lies. It's your pattern pulling out all the stops to keep you right where you are. So shine the light of awareness on them. Just bring them up to the light, because again, they're there. They're just operating underground. Write them all down. Just take inventory. Don't get charged up by them. I mean, just stay neutral as you're writing down those voices. Because if they can get you charged up and get you engaged, then they got you. And you don't have room to be the man or the woman that's creating the level of success or claim the level of success that you have created, and to continue that process, to continue that trajectory. So write them all down. Then I encourage you to get quiet and let the voice of truth speak through you. There is something so powerful that wove you into existence. And you will hear me say often, and I'm simply repeating the words that I hear my mentor said. We didn't wake ourselves up this morning. We can't even take one breath on our own. There is a power that wove you into existence, and that power is always communicating with us. Always. It's always reminding us of who we really are and just how magnificent we are. So I encourage you, next to each voice, write a real deal statement. Write a statement of truth. So I don't deserve to be here. I am deserving of all good things. I didn't earn my way to be here. I earned the right to be here just simply by being alive. And I acknowledge and celebrate my the effort that I put into being here. You know, a key piece of this, especially when you're writing those truth statements, is to celebrate yourself. So few of us have been trained to celebrate ourselves. And I tell you, if you really want to claim your place at, claim your place at the table of success, that's a habit. It's a muscle that you must build. Your ability to acknowledge and celebrate your growth, is celebrate the effort that you put into things. So, and if you're so bold to put down, a truth statement for what's a lie. And then what's a truth statement? A truth statement may be that there's somebody more deserving. or that's a lie, that there's somebody more deserving. The truth is, I live in an unlimited universe. That person deserves good just like I do, and there's plenty to go around. You know, when you think about it, when we get into that line of thinking that somebody else deserves to be here, effectively what we're saying is that there's a limit to how much good the universe has to offer. And that one we just need to dispel completely. Absolutely, there are other people that deserve to be there. So guess what? You just make the table bigger. You're not fighting over a seat. This is not musical chairs. You just, we just bought a table. We've got, like I said, we've got this amazing house. And we just bought this just wonderful table. I have most of my family, I'm just thrilled that most of my family are coming out for Thanksgiving. And so we bought this amazing, beautiful table. I'll have to show you all sometime. And there's not a leaf in it. I mean, it's brilliant the way that they did it. It's like you can expand it out. On the end, the leaves are like literally built into it, and you can expand it out. And so as we expand it out, we're just adding chairs. So guess what? Yes, there's somebody that deserves to be there just like you do, but not more deserving, just in addition. And to realize that we live in a universe that you just get to keep expanding the table out, because there is an infinite amount of supply. So number one, write down all of the falsehoods that part of you that's wanting to lock you down right where you are keeps telling you. Just write all those falsehoods down. Then next to them, write a statement of truth. And if you want help with that statement of truth, you want my eyes on your statement of truth, just write it in the comment section. Whether you're watching this live or the replay, and either myself or a team member will alert me that, so Severina, add this to your list of things to do, will alert me that somebody that you want help and feedback on your statement of truth, and I can go in and calibrate it for you, because this is what you're going to be working with. All right, and if you want my training notes and information about the masterclass, put the word real deal in the comment section, because that's who you are. You are the real deal. All right, number two, second way to stare down and transform the imposter syndrome, because this is what we're talking about. All right, so let me add another piece here. Oop. Oh, maybe not. Okay, here we go. All right, so write down statement, falsehoods, and change to statements of truth. All right, so that's number one. Write down falsehoods and then replace those with statements of truth. Okay, number two, here's the next thing. Go to people you respect and ask for their feedback about you. Now, here's what happens. You're surrounded by amazing, wonderful, loving people who think highly of you. And notice what you do when they share feedback with you. Chances are, if you're anything like I was, I would dismiss it. I would just have 100 reasons why they just didn't really know. Now think about this. When you dismiss their feedback, effectively what you are doing is insulting them. You're insulting their intelligence, you're insulting their insight, you're insulting their perception. You're saying that you got all of that except when it comes to me. That when it comes to me, you really just, all of that just like gets broken or gets blindsided or whatever. When you realize that you've got some amazing people in your life, and those people are really smart. You know, one of the things that I had to acknowledge when I was carrying, you know, I was going through this process of staring down that imposter syndrome when I was carrying my boxes, that I got picked out of 100 applicants for a, 1 out of 14 positions where people don't retire. And I was interviewed by a number of different people along the way. And I had a number of instructors, particularly at Middle Tennessee State University, that I was already doing some work with, that gave me glowing reviews. You know, I just had to get logical about it and realize these are really intelligent people. I mean, look at what they've achieved. They're not going to throw their weight behind somebody that they don't believe in. You know, the department head of the education department, I don't remember exactly what her position was, but she was a key person in the education department. She's not going to throw her weight behind somebody that she's unsure of. And so when you're staring down the imposter syndrome, the second thing to do is to track the people that you admire, track their feedback of you, and just get logical about it. You know, the voice that wants to say, yeah, but they don't really know you. And if they only saw you behind closed doors, or, you know, I've been able to pull the wool over their eyes, give them some credit. Give them more credit than that. That when you dismiss their good impression of you, it's an insult to them. And so quit doing that. I realized I had to quit doing that. I had to trust the feedback that these people were giving about me and my value and what was it in the thing that I brought to the work and the job. You know, and to realize that there was nothing more for me to prove. Now, that doesn't mean I could slack off, but, you know, if you've got the imposter syndrome, there's one thing that I know about you. You are not a slacker. In fact, you're probably working 3 times as hard than what's necessary, because you keep trying to prove yourself. You want to make sure that you keep that place at the table. You know, and when you realize, when you allow yourself to see yourself through the eyes of people that you admire, that you respect, and that speak up for you, then you're better able to take on their impression of you and realize all you have to do is show up and be who you are. And that's enough. It's enough. When you're able to do that, number one, you're able to relax and enjoy being there, and you actually bring a better version of yourself. Because when we're working 3 times as hard, you're actually bringing less of yourself, because you're bringing fatigue and burnout and resentment. And you're also not looking over your shoulder wondering when you're going to get tapped to say, time to move on, bud, you don't belong here. Energetically, you're not able to bring your full self to whatever it is that you're doing. Every time you're looking over your shoulder wondering when you're going to get that tap and the thumb to keep moving on. So number 2, a way to dissolve the imposter syndrome is trust the feedback of the people that you honor and respect. Give them more credit than what you're giving them, knowing that they're extremely intelligent, they're insightful, they've got good judgment, and all of that they're directing towards you. Let me get some water here. So if you've got somebody that you respect and you know that you want to trust their feedback, put a thumbs up in the comment section. Put one thing, here's what you can do, and let's celebrate this. We can celebrate this with you. You know, everybody can celebrate this. What's one thing that they tell you that you are now going to claim for yourself? What's one thing that they have said about you? You know, one of the things that I heard over and over and over again was how, and I own it with this, but let me show you what it is that I have the ability to take really complex subject matters, really complex ideas, and to break it down in bite-sized chunks to make it understandable without watering down the depth. That's one of the pieces of feedback that I got repetitively when I was teaching, which allowed me to have my, quotes, children that were identified in special education. I was able to keep those kids in, as well as my gifted kids, and everybody in between, because I owned my skill of being able to take complex ideas, break them down into bite-sized chunks without losing the depth, without watering it down. And the thing that I'm thrilled about is that this is what I get to bring here. So what is it that you've heard repetitively from people, particularly people that you respect, that you are now claiming as yourself? Put that in the comment section so we can all celebrate that with you. And if you know you want my training notes and you want information about my upcoming masterclass, put the word, the phrase real deal in the comment section and we will get that to you. All right, so last piece, number 1. All right, number 3, deepen your relationship. And y'all know what's coming. You know what's coming. Put the word in before I even finish the comment, because I bring you back to this on almost every single broadcast. Deepen your relationship with the infinite, oops, spelled wrong, infinite intelligence that created you. I'm coming. Ah! Okay, here we go. Deepen your relationship with the infinite intelligence that created you. You know, it's one thing to stare the voices down, to track all of your successes, to go to people that you respect. All of those, you definitely want to do every single one of those. I engaged in every single one of those activities to really dissolve the imposter syndrome that said I didn't belong, I didn't deserve that seat at the table of success. You know, when you think about it, all roads lead to a deeper awareness of who you really are and this deeper communion and connection with the stream of intelligence that wove you into existence. We were created in the image and likeness of love. It is love itself seeking expression through and as each one of us. You deserve good just because you're here. The very fact that you're breathing is evidence that you deserve all good things. So as you deepen your relationship with this stream of intelligence, with this creative life force, you literally open your heart and allow a much greater degree of freedom and fulfillment and success to flow through you. So one of the practices that I engaged in, and every once in a while I'll go back to, but it's definitely one that I share with my clients on a regular basis, is that I invite you to take time, because as in any relationship, it requires time and attention, to put time aside and to begin to have a conversation with this stream of intelligence, the very power of love itself. And one of the most beautiful ways to have a conversation is to write, to do journaling, and just ask it, what is it that you would have me know? What would you have me know about you? What would you have me know about myself? And let this power write a love letter through you and for you. Do an experiment, 30 days, every day for 30 days. Allow the power of love itself to write a love letter to you, through you. Just take your pen and let love write to you. Let love just shower words of just how wonderful and magnificent and cherished and worthy of all good things you are. Do that day after day after day. Watch as you do that, along, do the other things as well, that this imposter syndrome just dissolves back into the nothingness from where it came. All right, so if you want my training notes and you want to know when I'm going live with my masterclass, put the words real deal in the comment section, because that's who you really are. Real deal in the comment section, so we can get that to you. And I would love to hear your truths. What is one thing that you're claiming that a person that you respect says about you? And what are you discovering about yourself as you allow yourself to listen to the words of love, to receive the words of love from the power that created you? All right, 3 ways to go after the imposter syndrome. You've developed a great deal of success. You go to get your seat at the table. You're looking over your shoulder, wondering if you really belong there. There are people more deserving. Who do you think you are? Here's how you dissolve that voice. Number 1, write all the different variations that, that voice is very creative. Write down all the different variations of how that voice wants to show up. And then right beside it, write a truth statement. Work with that truth statement. Stand in front of the mirror and say it out loud and keep them in your pocket. Read them, put them on your phone. But you want to be constantly working with those truth statements so they will override the lie. Number two, pay attention to what people you respect are saying about you and give them credit. They're smart, intelligent, intuitive, insightful, perceptive people. And if they say that you're remarkable, then honor them by owning their perception of you. All right, and then number three, deepen your relationship with this stream of intelligence that wove you into existence. Let that power write love letters to you every day. All right, I think we got it. You stayed. Great. I'm so grateful that you stayed for this whole thing to really hear how to dissolve that imposter syndrome. And if you want my training notes and you want to know when I'm going, how to get information for the masterclass, put the words real deal in the comment section and we will make sure that we get that to you. And I'm going live again next week at 12:15 Pacific time, same place. So join me. It has been my joy to be your partner in believing, to stand with you knowing that you are the real deal and you deserve a place at the table. My name is Felicia Searcy. It is my joy to be your partner in believing. Your dream is my passion. Mwah! God bless everyone.